Okay, good day, my dear students. I've already started recording our meeting for today. I hope that everyone is doing well and feeling awesome right now. Are we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how are you, Mena? What keeps you busy these days?
Oh, I'm doing great, ma'am, and I have time to play with my nieces and nephews as well as reading books po.
That's nice to know. Just always remember that when you have time to rest, take advantage of it. Okay, how about you, Kendra? What are the new things that you've tried in this school break?
Thank you for that, ma'am. And I'm at my best shape today. And um, I think I've been trying to cook some dishes ever since this pandemic hit. But during school days, because of school low workloads or school works, I did not have much time to do that. But now that we have our short break, I've been watching YouTube videos for recipes, and I try some of that.
All right, that's so much nice to hear. I am also trying to cook new dishes, and in my spare time, I also watch K dramas. It is one of my um, fasting time in this school break, and I'm doing great, pretty good enough. This past few days, we've just been busy with some other stuff. Before we start, kindly check yourselves and your places. Be sure to make your study area clean and free from any distraction so you can focus more on our lesson. Are we good on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in addition, here are our simple classroom reminders. First, kindly utilize the raise hand button that you have on the lower part of your screen if you wish to speak. Do you see your raise hand button on your phone or on your
Yes,
laptop
ma'am.
if you're using a laptop? Okay, that's
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
And turn on your microphone once your name is acknowledged. And if your microphone has technical difficulties or issues at the moment, maximize the use of our chat box. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. Today is August 14, 2021, and it's 9:59 on my clock. I have two attendees in my Google Meet. All right, class. I know that you're more than excited to learn a new lesson for today, but before we start, let's have a short game. Are you ready? Are you
Yes, ma'am,
ready?
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are.
Okay, I think you are already familiar with this game. This game is adopted from a TV show hosted by Eugene Domingo. I know that you are familiar with that game. It is called Pack or Bluff game. In the TV show, it is Celebrity Bluff. Do you have an idea on how this game works? Who have an idea? Yes, Mena? Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. In that game, we will just choose a fact if we think the statement is correct, and bluff if not.
Okay, you got it right. Fact, if you think the statement is true according to your personality during this school vacation and bluff. If not, do you have any questions so far about the game mechanics?
None,
None,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Excuse me. That's good. We can now start. First one, fact or bluff. I have many books to read. For Mena, is it fact or bluff?
I think it's a fact, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Are you fond of reading books? Is that a childhood hobby?
Not a childhood hobby, but since I entered like high school, that's the time that I fell in love in reading books.
Okay, awesome. How about you, Kendra? Is it fact or bluff?
Lately, I do not have before I have a list, but due to workloads, I don't have much time to read. So it is Bluff for now.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right. Thanks for sharing with me. I also don't have a spare time lately reading books, but of course, if we have time, right, we'll read books. Let's proceed
Yes.
with the next one. Fact or bluff? I am having so much fun spending time with my family. Do you girls having so much fun spending time with your family? For you, Kendra, is it fact or bluff?
It is fact, ma'am.
Okay. How about you, Mena?
It's indeed a fact, ma'am.
Okay, in this time of pandemic, most of us are staying at home. Let us all try to find some things that our family can enjoy, like watching movie, cooking, and the like. I'm glad that this statement is fact for the both of you. Let's proceed with the next one. I have lots of time to rest during this school vacation. Is it fact or bluff? How about for you, Mena? Is it fact or bluff?
I think it's a fact, though I'm spending some time as well to do some extra work, but I think I'm resting so much for this school vacation. It's a fact, ma'am.
Great, that's good. How about you, Kendra?
Same with the answer of Mena. I am enjoying this school vacation, and I am enjoying the time that I have. So it is a fact.
Great. We have lots of time in this school vacation, and if there's a time to rest, take advantage of it. Remember that our health is our wealth. Okay, next statement. I saved a lot of money. Is it fact or bluff? Kendra, is it fact or bluff for you?
Um, for me, it is fact because whenever I have a little money or an extra money, I tend to save it for a more important expenses.
Okay, how about Mena? Is it fact or bluff?
Yep, for me it's a fact, especially I'm doing like a little challenge of those 5 peso challenge. I'm doing that one, especially the pandemic starts. I started that.
That's interesting. Is that whenever you receive 5 peso, you don't spend it? Is that how it works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's nice. Saving can enhance our discipline. And in this pandemic time, it has been really tough. So it is good that whenever we have an opportunity to save money, we should save if we can. Okay, next sentence. I drink plenty of water every day. This should be fact for the both of you or for us, for everyone. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how about you, Kendra?
Honestly, it is bluff for me
Bluff,
because
okay.
because our family tend to our family are fond of drinking soft drinks rather
Okay,
than water.
that's inevitable, of course. We can prevent from having soft drinks in our dining table, and we can't resist in drinking that instead of water. That's
True.
understandable, but always know that it is important to drink plenty of water. It keeps us healthy and prevent from any disease in this time of pandemic. Last sentence, I think I've learned a great deal of information about English grammar during this vacation. Is it fact or bluff? Mena, is it fact or bluff for you?
So I think it's somewhat a fact because I noticed that in social media they are also using that as a platform to share some grammar lessons as well as in TikTok.
Yes, and I've remembered that you've mentioned that you're fond of reading. So I think it's really a fact. How about you, Kendra? Is it fact or bluff? Nakadalawa ka.
Yes, ma'am. Indeed, it is also a fact for me, just like what Mena said. I saw a lot of TikTok videos
Yes.
or even in Facebook. So this individuals use this platform to give information.
Like Ayun Bernos, right? She is called as the walking dictionary. Do you know her?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's good. It was a good start. Very good, girls, for your participation in our Fact or Bluff game. I am happy that you're having a good time during this school vacation and with the experiences that you've shared. Now, to I'd like to ask you, what have you noticed about the given sentences? Let me read them again for you. I have many books to read. I am having so much fun spending time with my family. I have lots of time to rest during this school vacation. I save a lot of money. I drink plenty of water every day. I've learned a great deal of information about English grammar during this vacation. What have you observed? What can you notice with the sentences? Okay, Kendra.
What I have noticed from these examples, I think the sentences all have the subject I, or it is more personal.
All right, nice observation. It is true. All of these sentences are personal, and we use the subject I. What else? How about you, Mena? What have you noticed with the sample sentences?
I noticed that the sentences all have either countable or uncountable nouns.
Oh, all right. Can you point them for me? The countable or uncountable nouns?
Sure, ma'am. So I think those are books, fun, time, money, water, and information.
All right. These sentences have countable and uncountable nouns. Look at the underlined words here in these sentences. The word books is countable noun, while the word fun, time, money, water, information are all uncountable nouns. How do we differentiate countable from uncountable nouns? How can we differentiate countable from uncountable? Who would like to answer? Just a guess. Okay, Mena.
So I think countable nouns or count nouns are those that refer to something that can be counted, while anything that cannot be counted is an uncountable noun.
Very good. Anything that cannot be counted is uncountable noun, while anything that can be counted is count nouns. Even though uncountable nouns are not individual objects, they are all always used as singular, and one must always take singular verbs. These are the things that cannot be separated and can be used as mass. Glad to know that you still remember what countable and uncountable nouns. All right. Any other observation from the given sentences? Yes, Kendra?
Um, Before the countable nouns, there are words to describe the quantity of it.
Like, close enough. You got it right. Before the nouns in the sentences, there are words that help to describe their quantity. Let's take a look at them closely. I will highlight the words for you, okay? There you go. We mentioned earlier that these words help to express the quantity of a noun. If this expresses the quantity of the noun, And which part of speech do you think these words belong? What do you think? Yes, Mena?
So I think these words are adjectives.
All right, you're correct. These words many, much, lots of, a lot of, plenty of, a great deal of are example of adjectives or adjective phrases that go before nouns. They give information about how much or how many of an item you are talking about. Do you know what do we call to these words? Okay, no worries. Let me reveal the answer. These words are called quantifiers. Will you please read the definition of quantifier? Yes, Mena?
Quantifier. A quantifier is a word that usually goes before a noun to express the quantity of the object.
Thank you for that. Quantifiers are used and very important words because they let us to express the quantity of something or the quantity of the noun next to it. There are several quantifiers in English and they can be a little tricky to use. So in this lesson, you are expected to first identify countable and uncountable nouns, second, identify quantifiers, third, match appropriate quantifiers to countable and uncountable nouns, and fourth, use quantifiers correctly in speech. Let's study these example sentences. Will you please read the example sentences? Who would like to read? Yes, Kendra.
First, how many candles are on that birthday cake? Second, does she want many dresses? Third, Sharon does not have many friends.
With these sentences, what can you infer, Kendra?
All sentences have many as their quantifier.
Okay, you are correct. These three sentences have many to express the quantity of the noun next to it. Aside from that, what can you observe in these sentences? Mena, what can you observe with these sentences aside from the quantifier many used?
Ma'am, I think the nouns are all in their plural form and are all countable nouns.
Which nouns are you referring to? The nouns next to
Um,
many.
those are candles, dresses, and friends.
You are correct, Mena. These words are in plural form and are all countable nouns. Let's study this form. Many plus countable plural nouns plus plural verbs. We use many if the noun is countable. Example, oranges, children, or like the examples we have in the sentences, candles, dresses, friends. And take note that it is only used with countable plural nouns. You must also remember that we tend to use many with questions or negative statements. Do you have questions with how can we use many as quantifier?
None
None so
so
far,
far,
mom.
mom.
Okay. Are you a choir? Okay, that's good. Always remember many plus countable plural nouns plus plural verbs. Okay, let's find that. Moving forward with this next set of sentences. There's too much sugar in my coffee. I don't have much money. It doesn't need much milk. Observe the use of the quantifier much in these sentences. What can you conclude or what can you infer? Would like to try. Mena, would you like to try? What can you infer with these sentences?
So, ma'am, I think by observing the nouns next to the quantifier much, I think we use much to express the quantity of the uncountable nouns like sugar, money, and milk are all uncountable nouns.
Okay, you are correct. Sugar, money, and milk are all uncountable nouns. They are used as noun next to the quantifier much. Therefore, we can conclude that the quantifier much is only used with uncountable nouns. Let's study this form. Very good observation, Mena. We use much if the noun is uncountable or non-countable. Example, sugar, money, or water, sand. For much, we follow this form, much plus uncountable nouns plus singular verb. And take note, uncountable nouns always take the singular verb. It is only used with uncountable singular nouns. Do you have questions so far with how can we use much as quantifier?
None so
None
far,
so
ma'am.
far.
Okay, I assume that everything is clear. Thank you for that. And remember this one. Use much if the noun is non-countable. Use many if the noun is countable. And those are the use of much and many. Basically, the main difference of much and many, much is used for uncountable and many is used for countable. We can now proceed with the next set of sentences. Please read, Kendra.
Megan took a lot of photographs when she went to the Grand Canyon. Second, I have lots of peanut butter left in this jar. Third, a lot of my friends live here. Fourth, lots of people learn a foreign language. And lastly, there are lots of rules in English grammar.
What are the quantifiers religiously used in these sentences? Kendra.
Mm, the sentences use a lot of quantifiers a lot and a lot of.
Okay. These sentences mostly use quantifiers a lot of and lots of. Very good. And then, what type of nouns are used next to the quantifiers? Mena, what type of nouns are used?
The type of nouns that are used in the sentence is countable nouns.
Are you sure? We also have example sentence here that use peanut butter in the sentence number 2 as countable noun. Therefore, what can you conclude, Mena?
I think that a lot of and lots of can be used in both count and non count nouns.
Yes, very good. There you go. A lot of, lots of are used both in countable and uncountable noun. Remember that. They can be used in both. Kindly read the definition on the screen, Mena.
A lot of versus lots of. A lot of and lots of have the same meaning and can be used both in countable and uncountable noun. They can also signify a large measure or quantity of a noun.
This is what we're saying earlier. You read it right. A lot of versus lots of can be used both in countable and uncountable noun. These phrases are acceptable. A lot of sugar, lots of sugar. A lot of people, lots of people. A lot of rules, lots of rules. But Ma'am Karen, how do they differ? We have these things that we need to remember about a lot of and lots of. Please read, Kendra, the form that we used.
When we use a lot of, lots of, plus countable plural, the verb should be in plural. So the sample sentence, there are a lot of rules in English grammar.
Okay, let's take a look on this sample sentence. There are a lot of rules in English grammar. What is the noun used in this sentence?
Rules.
Okay, very good. The noun in this sentence is the word rules, and it is in countable or non countable noun. It is in countable noun. So the plural that we use here is the plural verb of are. The noun that we use to quantify by our quantifier a lot of is in plural form rules. That's why the verb that we must use should also be in plural. Are we clear on that? You have
Yes, ma'am.
question?
No, none so
Okay.
far, ma'am.
Okay. Let me know if I am being too fast, okay?
Noted po.
Okay, thank you. Then we use a lot of, lots of plus singular uncountable, and we must take a singular verb. Example sentence: there is a lot of sugar in this cake. Sugar is always uncountable noun, right? And it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
always in singular. We don't say sugars. Then the verb that we must use, since sugar is in singular form, should be also in singular. That's why you can see here in the green color, the singular form is. In this in this quantifier, a lot of, lots of, for us to know what verb to use, we must take a look on the noun, if it's plural or singular. If it's plural, the verb must be plural. If it's singular, the verb must be singular. We need to focus here on noun. Do you have questions on that? Are we clear?
None, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, those are the correct usage of a lot of and lots of. Also take note, a lot of, lots of are mostly used in positive and informal sentences. I think you are now ready for the next set of sentences. This thermos can hold plenty of tea. Slow down, we've got plenty of time to get to the station. We have plenty of rooms at the house. What can you notice with these sentences? What quantifier is used? Yes, Mena.
Ma'am, the sentences use plenty of as quantifier.
All right, the sentences use plenty of to quantify the noun next to it. But what type of nouns are used in this sentence? Take a look on the nouns: tea, time, and rooms. What type of noun? Yes, Kendra.
Uncountable nouns.
Hmm, are you sure uncountable? Does the word rooms uncountable?
Oh, I see. So, tea and time is are considered uncountable nouns, while rooms is uncountable nouns.
Okay, what can you conclude therefore, Kendra?
Um, that the when we use quantifier plenty, it can be we can use it in countable and uncountable nouns.
Okay, you got it correct now, Kendra. Plenty and plenty of signifies enough and more than enough of noun. Of noun. Same with lots of or a lot of, this is what we're saying earlier, this can be used both in countable and uncountable nouns. We can follow this usual form of using plenty of. Take a look on this form. Will you please read, Mena?
A plenty of plus countable nouns plus plural verb. And the example is plenty of rooms are painted with pink in their vacation house.
Okay. We've mentioned earlier that plenty of can be used both in countable and uncountable nouns. In this sentence, the noun that we have here is what? The noun that we have here is rooms. And this is countable plural noun. Since we use countable plural nouns, we must take plural verb with it. That's why you can see here in green color the verb are. Countable nouns plus plural verb. Next one on this form, we can use plenty of with uncountable nouns and must take singular verb. Plenty of is the key for success. Let's take a look on this example sentence. The word practice here is uncountable or countable?
Uncountable.
Okay, very good, Kendra. The word practice is uncountable noun. Therefore, the verb that we must use in this sentence is must be in singular form. Do you have any questions so far with the use of a plenty of?
None so
None
far,
so
ma'am.
far.
Who would like to give me an example sentence with plenty of? At least one example. Yes, Kendra.
I'm trying to eat plenty of fresh fruits.
All right, that's a very good example. Plenty of fresh fruits. You use plenty of with countable plural noun. Let's proceed now, and this would be the last set of sentences that we have. Will you please read this, Kendra?
Um, my teacher shared a great deal of knowledge about poetry. Second, running a kitchen involves a great deal of discipline and speed. Third, we've put a great deal of time, effort into this project.
What can you infer in these sentences, Kendra?
These three sentences, ma'am, used a great deal of as quantifier of the nouns next to it.
All right. How about you, Mena? In what type of nouns do we use these quantifiers?
The nouns The nouns mentioned in these three sentences are knowledge, discipline, and speed, and also time and effort. So, therefore, I concluded that a great deal of is usually used with uncountable nouns.
All right, very good. A great deal of is a quantifier that is used to express a large amount or quantity of something. This can only be used with uncountable noun, unlike with plenty of that can be used both in countable and uncountable. This a great deal of can only be used with uncountable. And Shermana, can you also give example sentence with a great deal of as quantifier?
Yes, ma'am. So, this book requires a great deal of concentration.
Okay, that's a good example. A great deal of concentration. Concentration there is uncountable noun. You use the quantifier a great deal of correctly. Do we have any questions so far about the use of a great deal of?
None so
None
far,
so far,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, that's good. That's nice. All right. I hope that you have learned a great deal of knowledge about the quantifiers. Again, the quantifiers are used to express the quantity of the noun next to it. And the quantifiers that we focused on our today's lesson are much, many, a lot of, lots of, plenty of, and a great deal of. These are just additional information that we must remember about quantifier. Remember that we tend to use much and many in questions or negative clauses, adding terms like as, so, and to with them can turn the phrase into positive one. Mena, can you please read the note number two?
A lot of, lots of, and plenty of are all can be used with both countable and uncountable noun. Just make sure to use a correct verb form with it, and these are commonly used in informal speech.
Yes, you've read it right. Remember, a lot of, lots of, plenty of. These three can be used both in countable and uncountable noun. You would most likely hear these quantifiers in informal speech. And much, many, a great deal of are the quantifiers that we commonly use in formal speech and writing. Are all the details clear? Do we have any questions or clarification so far?
None, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Since we have assured that all details are clear with the discussion, I know that you are now excited with our activities. Listen carefully with my instruction. I need you to identify the appropriate quantifier among the given choices to complete this sentence. So we will have choices here. Anyone can raise their hand through our Google Meet, or you can also type in your answers in our chat box. Are we cool?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Let's start. First one. We saw blank animals at the zoo. What is the correct answer among the choices? Yes, Kendra?
Letter A, ma'am. Many.
Many. We saw many animals at the zoo. Awesome. You are correct. The answer in this sentence is many. Number two, will you please read? Mena.
There isn't blank sugar in my coffee.
Okay, what do
So
you think is the correct quantifier in that sentence?
the direct quantifier is the letter B, which is much.
Okay, will you please read the sentence with much?
There isn't much sugar in my coffee.
Okay, correct. Much is the appropriate quantifier because sugar is uncountable. Next sentence. Kendra.
She's getting blank praise for her talent in singing. I think the right quantifier is letter C, a lot of.
Okay, you're doing awesome. You're right. Next one. Can Mena, would you like to answer?
Dan shows his love in blank ways.
Okay, what quantifier is the appropriate one in this sentence?
So that would be lots of letter D. So Dan shows his love in lots of ways.
Okay, very good. You got it right. The correct quantifier in this sentence is lots of. Next sentence. Sarah offered blank help here. What is the correct quantifier among the choices? Yes, Kendra?
Letter F, ma'am, a great deal of.
Absolutely, you're correct. It means that Sarah has offered a large or a big amount of help there. Sarah offered a great deal of help here. I think this is the last sentence. You and I have long challenges with our present and future. What should be the appropriate quantifier in this sentence among the choices? What do you think is the appropriate quantifier? Yes, Mena?
That would be letter E, a plenty of. So you and I have a plenty of challenges with our present and future.
All right, very good. The correct answer in this sentence is plenty of. Thank you and congratulations for responding in our first six items. You've got it all correct. So, for the next activity, you will compose a dialogue that you will need to show the usage of the quantifiers that we discussed today. You will work in pair, and I will give you 5 minutes to work in your dialogue. You may use the Google Docs that I will send so we can present here on the screen. Are we clear on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me send to you the Google Docs. Okay, I've already sent it in the chat pod. Again, you will compose a dialogue and it should include the quantifiers we discussed. You will work in pair and I will give you 5 minutes to work on it. Okay, your timer starts now. Okay, your timer has already stopped. Let me share it here on my screen. I already saw here on my Google Docs the dialogue that you prepared. Okay, let me share it for a while. There you go. Do you see it now? Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may start on your cue.
Okay, so ma'am, we will start. Um,
Okay.
Hi Shermana, how are you? We haven't seen each other for a while.
Hey, Kendra, I'm good. There were many things to do lately, but I am free now and still have a lot of time left. How about you?
That's good to know. I'm doing pretty well. Would you like to have some coffee?
Oh, yeah, sure. Do you know a good coffee place nearby?
Yes, I do. Let's go. What would you like to order?
I would like to have Frappuccino with just enough sweetness, please, and don't add too much sugar to it, okay?
I would also like to have cafe latte and please don't add too much milk to it. We'll wait. There are lots of coffee shops here, but this one is the best.
That's great. I have been in the States for a while, and this street is new to me. We have had plenty of challenges in our clothing business lately, so this is a great way to unwind.
Oh, you must have a great deal of knowledge about fashion. That's so much nice to know.
Yes, it's challenging, but all worth it.
Okay, very good. I am glad that you were able to include all of the quantifiers that we discussed today. I am seeing here that you have many things, a lot of time, and what else? Too much milk, lots of coffee, plenty of a great deal of knowledge. All right, very good, girls, that you have used the quantifiers correctly. Let me share my PowerPoint. Okay, do you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation, Mena. So we've mentioned you have correctly used the quantifier. So I assume that you have gained a great deal of knowledge about quantifiers. So let's review. What is quantifier? Who would like to answer? Yes, Mena.
A quantifier is a word that usually goes before a noun to express the quantity of the object.
Awesome. These are words that we use to express the quantity of something or a noun next to it. And what are the quantifiers we discussed today? Yes, Kendra?
We discussed much, many, a lot of, lots of, plenty of, and a great deal of.
All right, very good. We have a lot of quantifiers, honestly, and those were a little tricky to use if we have not enough knowledge, if we don't have enough knowledge with the correct usage of those quantifiers. And in today's discussion, we discussed much, many, a lot of, lots of, plenty of, and a great deal of. So, what do you think is the importance of studying quantifiers in our real life? What do you think is the importance? Mena? Yes, Mena?
Yes, ma'am. I think quantifiers are very important words because they let us express the quantity of something. And there are several quantifiers in English, and they can be like a little tricky to use, just like what you've mentioned earlier. So, studying them can help us to use the appropriate quantifier.
Absolutely. This help us to avoid any confusion in the future. So let's cross-check if we have met our objectives for today. We have identified countable and uncountable nouns. We have identified quantifiers. We also match appropriate quantifiers to countable and uncountable nouns. And in your dialogue, you have use quantifiers correctly. So I am glad that we have achieved our objectives for today. So thank you for time today, students. And that's the end of our today's discussion. I would like to extend my gratitude for your utmost participation in our class. See you in our next one. Everybody did a great job. You may now leave the meeting. Thank you, class.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
All right, thank you.